Hello, my sisters and brothers out there in the world. Today I am going to narrate inspired talks by Swami Vivekananda. And I am confident that if you listen to inspired talks, it is not only going to help you immensely in your life, but also it is going to give you clarity and a peaceful mind, regardless of what is going on in the outside world. By narrating this life changing book to all of you, I too shall learn at the same time as you. So, without further ado, let me start with inspired talks. When you talk and think of the absolute, you have to do it in the relative. So, all these logical arguments apply. In yoga, perception and realization are one. Vishishtadvaita, of which Ramanuja is the exponent, is seeing partial unity and is a step toward Advaita. Vishishtha means differentiation. Prakriti is the nature of the world and change comes upon it. Changeful thoughts expressed in changeful words can never prove the absolute. You reach only something that is minus certain qualities, not Brahman itself, only a verbal unification, the highest abstraction, but not the non-existence of the relative. Thursday, July 18. The lesson today was mainly Shankara's argument against the conclusion of the Sankhya philosophy. The Sankhyas say that consciousness is a compound, and beyond that, the last analysis gives us the Purusha, witness, but that there are many Purushas, each of us is one. Advaita, on the contrary, affirms that Purushas can be only one. That Purusha cannot be conscious, unconscious, or have any qualification, for either these qualities would bind or they would eventually cease. So the one must be without any qualities, even knowledge, and it cannot be the cause of the universe or of anything. In the beginning, existence only, one without a second, says the Vedas. The presence of Sattva with knowledge does not prove that Sattva is the cause of knowledge. On the contrary, Sattva calls out what was already existing in man. As the fire heats an iron ball placed near it by arousing the heat latent in it, not by entering into the ball. Shankara says, knowledge is not a bondage because it is the nature of God. The world ever is, whether manifested or unmanifested, so an external object exists. Jnana Bala Kriya, knowledge, power, activity, is God. Nor does he need form, because the finite only needs form to interpose as an obstruction to catch and hold infinite knowledge. But God really needs no such help. There is no moving soul. There is only one Atma. Jiva, individual soul, is the conscious ruler of this body, in whom the five life principles come into unity. And yet, that very Jiva is the Atma, because all is Atma. What you think about it is your delusion and not in the Jiva. You are God, and whatever else you may think is wrong. You must worship the Self in Krishna, not Krishna as Krishna. Only by worshipping the Self can freedom be won. Even personal God is but the Self objectified. Intense search after my own reality is bhakti, says Shankara. All the means we take to reach God are true. It is only like trying to find the pole star by locating it through the stars that are around it. The Bhagavad Gita is the best authority on Vedanta. Friday, July 19. So long as I say you, I have the right to speak of God protecting us. When I see another, I must take all the consequences and put it in the third, the ideal, which stands between us. That is the apex of the triangle. The vapor becomes snow, then water, then Ganga, but when it is vapor, there is no Ganga. And when it is water, we think of no vapor in it. The idea of creation or change is inseparably connected with will. So long as we perceive this world in motion, we have to conceive will behind it. Physics proves the utter delusion of the senses. Nothing really is as we see, hear, feel, smell, taste it. Certain vibrations producing certain results affect our senses. We know only relative truth. The Sanskrit word for truth is isness, Sat. From our present standpoint, this world appears to us as will and consciousness. Personal God is as much an entity for himself as we are for ourselves, and no more. God can also be seen as a form, just as we are seen. As men, we must have a God. As God, we need none. This is why Sri Ramakrishna constantly saw the Divine Mother ever present with him, more real than any other thing around him. But in Samadhi, all went but the self. Personal God comes nearer and nearer until he melts away, and there is no more personal God and no more I. All is merged in the self. Consciousness is a bondage. The argument from design claims that intelligence precedes form. But if intelligence is the cause of anything, it itself is, in its turn, an effect. It is Maya. God creates us and we create God, and this is Maya. The circle is unbroken. Mind creates body and body creates mind. The egg brings the chicken the egg. The tree the seed the tree. The world is neither entirely differentiated nor yet entirely homogeneous. Man is free and must rise above both sides. Both are right in their place, but to reach truth, isness, we must transcend all that we now know of existence, will, consciousness, doing, going, knowing. There is no real individuality of the jiva, separate soul. Eventually it, as a compound, will go to pieces. Only that which is beyond further analysis is simple, and that alone is truth, freedom, immortality, bliss. All struggles for the preservation of this elusive individuality are really vices. All struggles to lose this individuality are virtues. Everything in the universe is trying to break down this individuality, either consciously or unconsciously. All morality is based upon the destruction of separateness or false individuality, because that is the cause of all sin. Morality exists first, later religion codifies it. Customs come first, and then mythology follows to explain them. While things are happening, they come by a higher law than reasoning. That arises later in the attempt to understand them. Reasoning is not the motive power, it is chewing the cud afterwards. Reason is the historian of the actions of the human being. I end this episode here. In the next episode, I shall pick up where I left off. And hit the like button if you liked the video, and subscribe if you're new to the channel, and share this video with your friends and family if you think this video was helpful. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Till then, take care everyone. I wish you all a very peaceful mind. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti.